At this point, Warframe has been a game that's been ongoing for 8 entire years, surprisingly. So, is it really worth playing in 2021 if it's your first time playing Warframe? Well, let's talk about that. If you didn't know, Warframe is pretty much a looter-shooter MMO. People often compare it to Destiny because aesthetically it looks like Destiny, but the gameplay loops and mechanics are kind of completely different, and it doesn't really play the same, so I wouldn't expect Destiny out of this game if that's what you're thinking. No, not at all. Warframe is a looter-shooter space ninja game, if you will. Essentially, you just go around the world destroying and murdering everything. You collect loot, resources, etc. You build up all of the weapons, all of the warframes, and so much more. Since this game has been going on for 8 years, that means 8 years of time to put into just stuff, right? First and foremost, as this is a looter shooter, it is primarily a farming fun simulator, okay? It's not PvP focused, it's not competitive focused, it's primarily you play to have fun, to farm things up, and to have a good time, and you choose what your own goal is. So yeah, just wanted to get that out of the way. So with 8 years of development, there are a ton of things to do. You pretty much start off the game as just, some space ninja boyo who needs to go discover the world, right? Tons of quests going forward. I have no idea how many, probably like 15 or 20 or something like that. So you'll have a lot of quests to do. There are a lot of nodes that you'll be able to farm up on the star chart, which are, just general missions with a lot of enemy variety type and different armor and elemental types in that regard as well. There's a lot of numbers in the damage arena in this game, but you won't really have to worry about things like that for a while, so I wouldn't worry about it too much. So when you start the game, you just start playing and focus your way through the star chart. Through there, you'll discover that, there's a lot of things to this game, right? There is pretty much flying space battles, Arcwing, if you will. You're just flying around as a space person, so that's a thing. Then you have open world areas in the game with their central hubs. So there are 3 separate open world areas in the game where you just hang out. In all 3 open world areas, there are pretty much 3 central locations where it's just like a player hub with shops to look around in, spend resources, start missions, and then you jump into the open world. You don't have to do a mission or anything, you can just jump into it if you so choose, or you can go to the player hubs. So 3 open world areas in total, all very large with many things to do, farm up, etc. Very unique mechanics and things that are specific to each individual open world, things like that. So the game has just many things. I can't remember how many technical tiles it has. I think maybe in the game, the star chart has around 257 mission tiles. I could be completely wrong on that. So if someone wants to fact check me, go right ahead. But it is a large game. And trust me, it's not for everyone. The primary focus, again, is to just chill, have fun, play the game, farm up, do crazy strong builds if you want. Find your own fun. A lot of people love to do fashion frame, which, if you can't tell, is just making everything beautiful. So yeah, this is gonna be the weirdest just talk about the game because there's just so much to do at this point, right? Once you get a little farther on in the game, you get done the quests, let's say, you're finished more of the star chart, you're done more of the open world stuff. Oh yeah, there's so much more. There's high-level special enemies called Kuva Liches, soon to be also a Corpus Liches. There is an entire space game mode that was released, I think technically 2018, 2019, and it's so far decent enough now that it's had enough development time gone into it. There's 6 or 7 planets in Railjack, something along the lines of that, and it is big space battles in a big spaceship. You can jump into your Arcwing to fly out. There is just so much to do in the game at this point. That's the general gameplay cycle, right? You just play to farm stuff up. Everything, all of your weapons, Warframe's equipment start at level 0. You level it up to level 30, and then from there you upgrade it with things called formas, which reset it back to the beginning level, and then you level it back up to throw mods on it. It's a very confusing thing to explain without starting Warframe. It's its own thing, right? Warframe has a lot of really weird, unique mechanics in the way it does things, and it may take a little bit of time to get used to it. It is very confusing to a lot of people. The game itself has an issue, a lot of people say, with not explaining itself properly, not explaining mechanics properly, not really giving a lot of people guidance. So you may need to get very much used to just Googling things, using the Warframe wiki, searching out information. If you've ever played back in the day many MMOs, you'd be very used to things like this because, 10-15 years ago, MMOs didn't give you a lot of information and you had to dig for info. So that's kind of like Warframe. In missions, you can have a maximum of 4 players, so it is a multiplayer game, so nothing to worry about there. Or you can just choose to do everything solo. In my opinion, it's more painful and annoying doing everything solo, especially if you're not aware of how the game works and the mechanics and the intricacies of it. So I would definitely recommend running public lobbies until you get a hold of generally how to play the game. So there's just so much to the game. I think technically I could just keep on talking for an hour about the game, and I'll probably talk for another 5 to 10 minutes. The game just literally has so much to it at this point. But again, hella confusing, right? Just people don't know what to do. So if that's an issue for you, you might not like it. It is a free-to-play game with premium currency, right? That premium currency, in my opinion, is pretty much required in the game, but it is tradable and it is pretty easy to trade, especially if you're on PC. And that means it's pretty easy to farm up. Many people at this point have just general platinum farming and trading guides, so you can always look those up. I probably have 3 or 4 at this point, and I'm probably gonna make another. Because, people always like to know what's going on. And a lot of people are always coming into Warframe and leaving Warframe, as, when an MMO type game's been going on for 8 years, obviously it's going to have a lot of players coming in and a lot of players going out. But at this point, Warframe is a decently large-sized game with its own small, medium to large-sized community. Yeah, because I'm like, we have 50 million, 60 million maybe registered Warframe players at this point, because who knows how the growth's going. So it's definitely a big game. So the main points are this. It is a looter shooter. The general grind is this. You pick up Warframe's weapons, you level them up, and you just keep on doing that. You'll definitely need platinum, but you can definitely trade for it, okay? So it's free to play with premium currency, definitely needed, but you can earn it through hard work and trading. And surprisingly enough, it's not like most free-to-play games where you'll have to farm for 10 hours just to get a little bit of the platinum currency. No, not really. You can probably farm for an hour for most people and farm up, if you're a little lucky, probably 50 to 100 platinum, purely through running like primed relics and things like that. So there's a lot of opportunity and options in the game, and the transaction rates for platinum compared to what you actually spend it on at this point are pretty good. The game has so many noob traps for platinum though in that regard that it is insane. The market is a huge trap for a lot of people in the regards that they think they have to spend platinum for everything. No, you can buy blueprints for so many things for credits. Pretty much every weapon in Warframe can be farmed in the game without spending platinum. Platinum is more so spent for obtaining slots, cosmetics, bonuses, Orokin, Catalyst, people buy Forma with them. They buy so many just weapon boosters, Orokin reactors. So Platinum is essentially used to make your things stronger without having to farm it in-game. But you can farm pretty much most of the things in-game that you can buy with Platinum, other than Warframe slots and cosmetics. Slots can be obtained occasionally through things like Nightwave and through things like events, don't get me wrong, but there are obviously just certain resources and items in the game that are given out over time. So that makes it somewhat necessary to farm Platinum in order to buy certain items, in order to not have to wait for events to actually happen. So it's obviously a free-to-play game like that. There is no auction house. It is just open market trading with small trade windows and small hubs that people use to trade, like Maru's Bazaar. It's kind of a pain, but you may get used to it. You may love it, you may hate it. I myself am never really a big trader unless there's an auction house, so I'm not a huge trader in Warframe, but back in the days of World of Warcraft, I would trade on the auction house all the time. But if there's not an auction house, I don't really care because I'm too introverted to talk to people. Clearly, it's kind of funny being a YouTuber and saying that, but oh well. All in all, should you play Warframe? Yes, if you like a third-person looter shooter grinder where it may take a lot of time to find out information and understand things, and you'll have to do a lot of exploring on your own. It's always up to you. It is free to play, so you can always just download it off Steam on your Xbox, on your PlayStation, on your Switch, what have you, and try it out. Clearly, it's free, so you don't have to pay anything to try it, so naturally, it's always up to you. The game can be a huge pain in the ass for certain things, so don't get me wrong. The update cycles are kind of broken at times. PC gets things before consoles for the most part. It doesn't have cross-platform or cross-play, so trust me, it's by no means a perfect game, and yeah, no. But if you want to try it, go ahead. It's decently fun, it's a fun looter shooter, and it's one of the few games that has so much time put into it as a looter shooter, so it just has a lot to do. So if you end up liking it or loving it, you'll have a metric ton of things to do. So, as always, it's up to you. Play it if you'd like to, don't play it if you don't want to. But it's free to play, so yeah. Thank you guys for watching. If you liked the video or are interested in Warframe, I would appreciate it if you were to subscribe, check out some of my other videos, maybe check out my Linktree or Amazon affiliate shop. Anything I think you buy from there just helps me out, gives me a small kickback, so thank you all for checking out any of my links. I appreciate it, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.